Good afternoon. This is the next episode in the series, What's That Called? And today we're going to talk about different kinds of thread and twine and where you get it and that sort of thing. If you think you already know everything there is to know about thread and twine and all the things, feel free to move on to a different video. But if you would like to stay here and find out a little bit more, I appreciate that. First, let's just talk about like the words. These kinds of threads here that come on a small spool are really sewing thread. And both of these came out of one of those little sewing kits that you get at, Walmart or the Dollar General or somewhere like that, where there's a variety of colors and, a couple of needles and that sort of thing. Very ubiquitous, and you can get them just about anywhere. So that's what those are. And you might use those if you wanted to sew on a button to a journal or a journal page or something like that. Um, Also, there is this thing called twine. Now, everyone has seen the brown kind of gardening twine. Sometimes it comes in green, that you can get at the dollar store, Walmart, gardening centers, that sort of thing. But this is cotton twine, and you might often see it referred to as cotton twine or as kitchen twine. And this is what you would use, this white one especially, is what I would use if I was going to truss a turkey or a chicken, or if I needed to bundle a pork loin that might be in different pieces and parts. This is what you would use. But then you also have various colored twines. And these three, plus several other colors. I think there's a bright orange and white, and I think a red and white or a red and green. Anyway, these came in a pack that I have linked in my Amazon journaling list. These came as a set, like I said, with maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 other colors or whatever. These are the ones that I use the most, so that's why I have those in my box here. And again, these are twine, cotton twine, and that's what you would search for when you are looking for cotton twine. Like I said, I got mine on Amazon. And this bigger roll or spool here is also, I think, from Amazon, but I have had it so long that it wasn't in my orders anymore. And I really like that one, that muted green and white. But again, cotton twine. And now, these 3 cotton twines got at the dollar store or the $1.25 store. And they come in a pack of 3, I think. And I recently got a new pack that had a color in it that I didn't have. And so that's where I got these. And if you'll notice on most of these, the size is different. This is a 1 millimeter size. These are a 2 millimeter size. So you might want to look at that when you are ordering yours, depending on how you're going to use it. These are great for binding your signatures into your journals. This is what I use. And then there is embroidery thread. I also use this to bind my signatures into my journals. Now, I do very simple single signature journals. I don't do like the hardcover ones. Mine are scrapbook paper or cardstock covers. So those of you that do those more elaborate journals or more hardcover journals might use, a twine like I showed you earlier or something else. These all came in a bag, and I talked about this in my thrift haul video. These all came in a Ziploc bag from the thrift store. Um, this is called embroidery thread, like I said, and it can be used to embroider, fabrics. We used it when I was a kid a lot, doing cross stitch. I've done a lot of cross stitch over the course of my life. And this is what we always used. And the strands separate easily. It comes as 6 strands. I think you can see them there. And they separate easily. And for cross stitch, you usually use 2 strands. Different types of embroidery, you can use different numbers of strands depending on the stitch that you're doing. But that is embroidery thread, and it is very silky and slick, and works well when you're sewing in signatures in a simple journal. And that's what I plan to use it for. So those are some different kinds of thread and string and twine that I use in my journals. And I thought it might be helpful for you to know those terms. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.